Beef producers should get beef quality assurance certified every 3 years because the BQA is the program. This is the continuing education for the cattle producer. This is how to keep up to date with the best management practices of what the industry has chosen, where we want to go. How do we get better? These are the tools that we can utilize to learn from to get better year in and year out. The industry continually changes, so it's imperative to get recertified every 3 years to keep up to date with all the best management strategies, all the different practices that get implemented, because times change, the industry changes, and as producers, we all have to change with it, but we're doing it through sound science, with backing, with the best practices that we can put forward.
And we have this great program. It's producer driven, it's voluntary, it's led by science, and is constantly being updated. And that's a perfect way for us to share what our producers are doing day in and day out and better tell that cattle care story with our consumers. When we look at consumer data, we know that when we ask consumers, what's your greatest concern or what's your greatest question about how beef is raised for food, their number one concern is animal welfare. So that's where we've invested so heavily in that cattle care space. And BQA is really helping us fill that void and give those consumers that extra check the box, that extra certification and just trust that they can have when they're either at the meat case or at the restaurant and they choose to buy certified Angus beef. That certification gives them that extra something, that extra guarantee that those cattle were raised and handled in a humane way, that those producers did care for those cattle in the right way. From the producer side, that means we're doing things like giving injections in the right places, we're handling those cattle with low stress, but to a consumer, it really just translates to increased trust.
It's just always a good reminder of some of the things, to pay attention to the ordinary things we do on a daily basis. It's just a way for us to band together to give the consumer assurance of the way we're handling animals from a humane standpoint, and also that the quality of the end product that they're getting is of the highest possible standards. I think this is my third or fourth time. There's many reasons to be QA certified. I think it's a good thing for our industry so that consumers have a way of having some basic assurance of the way we're treating animals and the techniques we're using to do that.
To the consumer, beef quality assurance, they see it, this is a continuing education for the cattle producer. And many times we think about continuing education for professional careers, dentists, doctors, veterinarians. When consumers find out that beef producers do continuing education for their own operation, that sets them apart. Beef producers are professionals, and they take that to heart, and they are serious that this is their profession. There are very practical, very applicable tips and techniques that any producer, regardless of age or how long they've been in the business, can immediately take home and put to work.
And I think even if you have been doing this a lot longer than I've been alive, you can take something out of it, even if it's just one tidbit, and maybe make your life a little easier when handling cattle and make consumers feel a lot better about it too.